This is how one of my clients manifested turning her situationship into a full-fledged relationship. Hey guys, hope you are well. And in this video, I want to talk about one of my best success stories because this success story has it all. It has a past situation that this person had to work on, it has a future situation that she had to work on. And here we have covered everything. We have covered our perception of men, our past issues, our perception of relationships. And in this story, I will do something that I haven't done in my previous stories before. Here, I will share with you after she got her success what were the troubles that she faced and how are we overcoming it because we are still working together. So I will start this by reading this success story because this is a great one. So let's just directly get into it. So this is the message I got from this client. Hey Karan, I'm doing really well. I was going to send you an update today. So I met my specific person, and yes, I'm calling him my specific person because he met me and told me that he wants to be with me no matter what. He's going to convince his parents for our marriage. He explained how stupid he felt not being able to take a stand for our relationship. He's so sure of me. He said that the time when we were apart made him realize how much he loves me and how much he misses me. He's ready to do anything to make this work and last forever. This is the same person who literally was scared to meet me in front of his cousins and so that they don't find out about our relationship. Now he himself announced our relationship to everyone. He is very sure and confident about us and told me that I am the one for him. I'm really, really happy, Karan. He was telling me all the things I longed to hear from him. I didn't feel overexcited. There was a sense of calmness in me, maybe because of all the work that I have been doing on myself. I'm really grateful to have found you, Karan. I'm really blessed and lucky to have you as a coach and who has let me literally put me on the right path. You changed my life entirely. Thank you for being super honest with me. I wouldn't have been here without you and your teachings, and I have no words, but all I can say is thank you, thank you. This is a beautiful success story. I have shared bits of this success story before, so we will be talking a little bit more about her past, what her circumstances were, and then we will be discussing how and what she has been working on now. Okay, so this girl, first talking a little bit more about her past, she comes from a family background where her father was not fully available, which means her father figure was not actually the best one. He did not have a great relationship with her or her mom or any one of her family members. He was very temperamental. He was not treating like he was a figure that at that time in her life he was not fully there, right? Because of which at this young age she developed three beliefs. First thing that she saw was that she saw that men in relationships can act this way. So her perception of men started deteriorating from this point. This is where she started creating this belief that maybe men in relationships cannot treat her perfectly, right? Or cannot treat anyone perfectly. The second thing that she developed was an understanding that in relationships, a little bit of toxicity is allowed. Why did that happen? Because she saw her mom allowing this behavior in her life very regularly, right? Because of this, what happens is as a child, because we don't have any point of reference and we don't know what's right or wrong, we see something and we develop a definition that this is the correct thing, right? Especially because we see our parents doing it. So that is the definition that she developed, that maybe this is how a relationship is supposed to be. But of course she didn't like what she was seeing, so in her mind she started repelling relationships. And lastly, she developed this mindset that women in relationships should settle because that is what she heard her mom tell her, that it's okay, it's fine to settle a little bit, it's fine to accept this behavior, maybe he's just angry, maybe he's just this. And because of this, see this is where what happens, you start to develop excuses for someone else treating you wrong without them actually giving them to you. So the other person didn't even give them an excuse. We start making them in our own minds and we start justifying someone else's poor behavior towards us with those. So this is what became her pattern, and as she grew up she got into multiple relationships where she wasn't treated right. She saw that she was continuously put down and she had a habit of settling in these dynamics. So she moved countries and she got into this place where she met this person. Now at the start, when she met this person, it was a flirtatious kind of dynamic. They were both just starting to see each other, meet each other. As the relationship progressed, this guy told her that at this moment I'm not looking for anything. In that moment, in her mind, this was not something to walk away from. This was a sign of initiation, because in her mind she had seen that, when someone rejects you or doesn't give you what you want, instead of valuing yourself, keep on pushing. So instead of actually telling him that, maybe I want something more, she killed her own wants, told herself that no, no, I don't, and she kept on going forward with this. This is what this does. So this kept on making this dynamic keep on going for a long time. In this guy's mind, he was in a good relationship, he was in a good dynamic, because in his mind, this girl didn't actually want anything more. And by the time that this girl mentioned it to the person that I'm looking for something more, this guy and her had already developed a very long friends with benefits situationship kind of thing, right? In the girl's mind, what was happening, this is my client, in her mind what was happening is she was constantly developing resentment against this person, because in her mind she was constantly creating this mindset that, what, this guy is not giving me what I want. She had never actually asked for it. In that moment, this guy didn't know that this is what she wanted. Even after she confessed, this guy said that at this moment I cannot offer this to you, and she still kept on allowing this behavior in her life. So it kept on going back and forth, and she used to create a small boundary, he used to go away, then she used to stalk, then they used to meet, then he used to come back, they used to talk, but never about the real issue, and they used to get back into the same pattern. This kept on going for years. When I met this girl, she was in a very bad mental space towards this, because she was very tired of her own pattern, right? She did not want to be in this hot and cold scenario anymore. She was struggling with her self concept issue, because over a period of time, she had started developing so much resentment against herself, because she realized that she was not doing herself justice, and she was not feeling happy with the guy too, because you see, the dynamic doesn't go well, and it isn't making her feel good. She tells this person I want a relationship, he says I don't, she then walks away, till a few days later this guy comes back, right? When he comes back, she mentally starts blaming him. Why is he coming back? Why is he coming back? But he's coming back because he has been taught by this girl over a period of time that if I come back, I won't actually have to change, I won't actually have to give her a relationship, I can just keep on getting into this, and eventually she will agree and we will get into the same dynamic. This is something she had taught her, right? She had taught him, I apologize. So then eventually, once we start working on ourselves, the first thing that this person did, which was the best thing about her situation, was that she took full responsibility of her life. She told me that, Karan, if you will tell me to do this, I will do this. If you will tell me to not do this, I will not do this. I will not question it, I will follow it, because I know that it will get me a good result, and because I don't feel good about this area of my life. So the first thing we did is we created a boundary with this person, and I told her that there's a huge chance that as you start working on yourself, you might not want this person anymore, and that is completely fine. And she was open to that, right? She was open to that. As she started working on herself, she kept her focus herself. She didn't even consider the person. We actually never did even one affirmation for this person. Till now, she manifested the whole thing. We never did one affirmation, one visual scene, nothing in relation to the person. All we focused on was her perspective on herself, her relationship beliefs, healthy relationship activities, creating a better definition of how a healthy relationship looks like, integrating those activities on a daily basis in her daily life, creating a better self concept for herself, and letting go of past issues. These are the things that we focused on through a various set of techniques and tasks, because she's a part of my longer coaching format, so we are in touch on a daily basis. When this guy started showing up in her life, right, till the time that he was actually very clear that, I'm offering you a full relationship, I'm pretty sure I'm coming back, he was constantly coming back to her. And she was not in a space where she was entertaining it, because in her mind she wanted to first work on herself and clarify why she wanted this. Was it because of her self concept, or was it because of something else? Was it because of her attachment? Maybe she was just attracted to people who were unavailable. That is something that we were considering, and she was very open to the fact, and she was working on it. And as we were working on this, until the guy came and was very clear that, I'm here, I'm offering you the full relationship, I'm literally going to be doing anything for you, till the time we did not even consider it. which is the best thing possible in this situation. Now, as this relationship, and after that, eventually she decided that she wants to give this relationship a chance, and slowly they went into this relationship. Now, as this relationship progressed forward, there were three things that happened which were creating a trouble in her life, which we are still working on and we are getting better at it daily. So, the first thing that was happening is over a period of time, there were two things that were happening. Sometimes this guy was showing hot and cold, and sometimes the hot and cold was because of her boundary, the boundaries that she wasn't creating. So it was a mixture of something that both people were doing, right? It's not something that we can just say this guy was doing this or she was doing this. It was something they both were doing, because of which she had created so much resentment against the person that she had started to think that this guy can never be consistent, right? We had to constantly work on her perspective, because in this current situation, when this guy had shown up in her life, he was showing no evidence to believe that he was hot and cold, right? He was being constantly consistent. He was not being hot and cold, but she was constantly comparing him with the past version of him. And every time she was assuming that he might be doing something wrong and just creating resentment, even when nothing had happened. I will give you an example. So this guy said that I might be going out with friends or something, right? And in her mind, she created this perception that this would mean that he would meet other girls there, he would do this, that, and this. And she started creating resentment against him till we realized he hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything. In the past, when they weren't together, this guy was dating other people because they weren't together and he was okay to date other people, right? And she was creating that resentment because she didn't create a boundary back then. So that is one thing that we worked on. The second thing that we worked on, which is a very, very good thing, is that as this was getting better, we had to work on diversifying and creating a distance between what is it that she needs to work on and what is it that she needs to hold him accountable for. I will give you an example. So this guy decided that he wants to have a guys' night, and he just wants to go out with his friends and have fun, which he's totally fine to do so. In her mind, this girl felt that, you know what, why is he not giving me this attention and doing all these things, and he's ignoring me? If he's going out with his guys, that means he's ignoring me. And she started creating unnecessary resentment against him. She started putting her own unnecessary expectations which were being created by her own insecurities onto this guy, right? This was not this guy's responsibility to deal with. This was her responsibility to deal with. In this situation, the expectations have to change, not the person. And in some situations, this guy was not giving her the full attention where she needed to communicate that. So maybe, let's say, I think this was one event where they came back from a dinner or something, and this guy, instead of, sitting her, talking to her about her day, slept or something, and this is what she wanted. So she communicated it to him, and then he started communicating her back, and they had a conversation about their day, right? So the second thing that we needed to work on was understanding what are her issues and what are his issues. The last thing that we had to work on was making her feel safe with the idea of a healthy relationship. Because as this relationship was getting more and more solid, she was constantly being in this zone where she was worried that this will go away, because of which she was planning and constantly getting anxious that this will go away right now. Because when you have been in unhealthy dynamics for such a long time, a healthy dynamic can feel very foreign. It can feel like something that you don't know how to deal with. It can feel very, very weird to get yourself involved into, because of which a lot of times when you get somewhere closer to it, you don't feel that comfortable. It feels very, very weird because you haven't been in it before. So creating safety through techniques and affirmations in terms of feeling safe in the idea of a healthy relationship was something that was very crucial in her situation and something that we are still working on. So I hope that this success story gives you hope. I hope that you can understand that circumstances can change, but they don't just change out of the blue. You don't just sit there, keep on visualizing and circumstances change. You have to put in the work. You have to change your actions. You have to change your perceptions. You have to change your boundaries. And that is a byproduct of that is you getting your manifestations. I hope this video helps, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and share if you like the video. The link for my one-on-one coaching, my self-help courses, and my free newsletter are in the description box below.